Try to a channel of light fluid. Welcome back to Finite Space. Yes, this latest chapter just came out yesterday as I am recording this, so I hope you've all had a chance to read through it, see what you think. But now it's time for the video, and we're going to meet a new character. The sun is my enemy. It's the first thought that enters my mind upon waking. The rays of my nemesis have crept through the window. I squint and scrunch my face at the intrusion, but I lose the glaring match. I swing my legs out of bed and then heave myself to my feet. With Osid entering the height of summer, the early mornings are both a curse and a blessing. I splash my face to fully wake up, then look out of my window. It's been a few weeks since we got back. We'd remained on duty throughout, waiting to be called to action again. However, Raptor recovered for another incursion happened in our sector. We hadn't been given much of a reprieve during the waiting. After our debrief and battle analysis, Commander Fenn had given us all increased training exercises. He personally attended a few to assess the pack's efficiency. I always felt his eyes boring a hole into my skull. Maybe he was impressed with our combined efforts against the Butcher. Or maybe... I shake my head. No, Brut would not have told him about that. He was insistent we didn't say anything. Plus, keeping quiet lets Brut maintain his reputation of being able to take the Aegis damage throughout the battle. During the debrief, we learned to the full extent that Fenn's steed had been damaged. A collision with a plague vessel had sent him off target, and ended up with his steed scraping along part of the plague core ship's outer hull while being able to pull away. The feedback from this, through his ship, translated to a series of sensory stimuli on par with the sensation of Fenn's body being torn into. Brut had felt that, dealt with it. Fenn could have, should have, returned to the dropship for repairs, but chosen to not disengage. From the footage, it was hard to argue with his combat prowess. I even marvelled at the skill he showed in manoeuvring, knowing he had taken that sort of damage. Still, I remember what Brut looked like then, racked with pain, at the point of being consumed by it. That made it hard to feel like Fenn's choice was justified. There were 0 civilian deaths caused by the incursion. The results were the best one could ask for. But would it have been different if Fenn had stepped back to repair? The what-ifs kept me up more than a few nights, thinking of how every moment of our fight could have played out differently. We assessed our choices plenty each day in training, of course. I can't say I'd have changed any of the choices that I made. Don't really understand Fenn. I don't condone his actions. But I hope he at least thanked Brut for dealing with the consequences. Calpex has been strange as well. I thought we'd reached a good point, maybe gotten past some barriers. Outside of training and our evening meals, he often excuses himself rapidly now. Perhaps he's been given extra tasks by Fenn that are keeping him busy and tired. I sigh as I turn away from the window and then go to shower and get ready. Small steps, Corwin. Small steps. I'm just finishing preparing Calbex's meal when I hear his footfalls on the stairs, and then he enters. He looks up from his stick and appears startled for a moment at me being there. Good morning, Corwin. Yorkley takes his seat as I bring him his food. I place the bowl down and then remember the honey. I dart back to the kitchen to fetch the jar. Looks like we're running low. The jar is left in the fifth or so full. I've noticed Calbex lets himself indulge in quite the serving when he puts his own on, so this much won't last long. Calbex takes a moment to finish reading a report that made his brows knit together before looking at me, then the jar. Honey. I've been meaning to ask for more from Cannon. You're scheduled to have him lead the training today. Can you ask him to bring some over when he gets a chance? Oh, sure. Yeah, sure. I can do that. I look at the jovial bear on the label. I can't stop myself from asking, what's he like? Cannon, I mean. Calbex catches my gaze, and then stares at the jar for a while before closing his eyes in contemplation. He is a good knight. Good man, really. He's very sociable and friendly. Gets on well with pretty much everyone. He cares. Calvex opens his eyes and looks at me properly for what feels like the first time in weeks. He cares a lot. I've known him since we were squires. Powerful fighter, sure, but he's just as happy in his garden with his bee drones as he is in combat. He sounds nice. He is. He made a point to visit me a lot when he could during my rehabilitation. He's a true friend. We share a moment of silence before Calvex coughs and looks away. I hastily check my own stick. I'm going to go grab some food since we're in the woods for training. See you later tonight. I practically flee the room and then the house. Why does it feel so awkward all of a sudden? First things first, training. Then honey requisitioning. After what Calvex said, I'm really looking forward to today's survival training. I honestly could do with the rest from all the combat exercises. Hurrying to the canteen, I double-check the itinerary for today. Cannon will be taking us out to the forest surrounding the complex. Apart from what Calvex has said before about Cannon's schedule being swapped for his, I'm not sure what to expect. Per the lesson prep instructions, we're to have a light breakfast. Part of the exercise will be foraging and hunting. I head towards the line of those queuing for their meals and see Alex at the end, eyes closed as he reads something from his stick interfaces. Perfect opportunity. I grin and creep up behind my prey. Alex is always so stoic. It'd be great to get him to jump a bit. I step in behind him, gauging his state as he maintains his reading. His brow furrows a little at whatever he's going over. Just as I go in for the kill, fingers reaching for his sides to make him jolt. I'm stopped. His paw grabs my left hand with a nerving speed and holds it in place. Not so fast, old chum. You'll have to get him much earlier than that to catch this cat off guard. Oh, is that right? He maintains his grip on my wrist, firmly but not painfully. It's remarkable how strong he can be, given the twisted position his arm is in. I strain against the hole, but it's more of a game than anything. Indeed, even blinded and distracted as I was, you have the elegance and deftness of a pachyderm. There's no way you could ever... Ow! Alex cuts off with a squeaky mew. He hadn't noticed my free hand snake into his dancing tail while I was giving his speech. Looks like some tricks work on all cats. His face immediately goes rosy pink. He looks incredulous as I present the captured tail to him and waggle it. I barely squeeze it before he snatches it back, glaring. Well, I guess pride cometh before the fall. I will enact swift and terrible revenge on you, dear packmate. I swear on all my facets. Alex tries to recover some decorum amidst the laughter of the few around who heard his squeak. The promise of retaliation is as scary as it is thrilling. I'm glad he's taken it as fun. Bring it on. I'm sure he'll be able to sneak upon me easily, given all the noise I make. He laughs before stepping up to the assembler and searching his stick. He frowns at the displayed menu and then attempts to swipe the screen to the custom order section. With a dull buzz, the machine rejects the attempts and displays the original meals. He tries again, only to be met with more denial, for giving up and choosing a breakfast. Stepping up and trying myself, I get fewer options myself. The readout shows it's balanced about half of what I'd normally be required to consume for breakfast. Not wanting to hold the queue up, I accepted and then joined Alex to eat. I can assume it's maybe my own knight's design. He nods at my tray, then his before he takes a bite. Both are lighter than we usually get. Since we'll be doing survival training, I guess he wants us to just barely fed to make sure we're eager enough to forage. Trying to finish his meal demurely, he's pouting ever so slightly. Wham! I jolt as the tray slams onto the table just a few inches from me. Brut straddles the bench as he sniffs at Alex with derision. That's with such a blow you can't eat your morning caviar, rich boy. I glance over and see the Brut also has a small portion. He notices and then puts his arm between his tray and mine. To shooting me a glare, he starts chomping into it rapidly. It's more than enough. Alex stares at Brut's display of table manners with abject horror for a full minute, before politely coughing and then continuing with his own meal. I'm surprised to see you join us, Brut. The commander has been running you ragged as of late, has he not? Brut winces and chokes on his food. About to hit him on the back to help, but he shoots me a do-it-and-die look. I hold my hands away instead and let him clear with a gulp of water. Yeah, I've been doing additional training. I requested and he's making time to make sure I succeed. Oh, what of it? He glances at me for the briefest of moments before looking away, still coughing to clear his airways. I feel uncertain if he's telling the truth or just making an excuse for avoiding me. Don't expect him to have magically transformed from being an asshole just because he's been in mine. I wasn't going to and won't broach a topic unless he wants to. We have enough on our plates as it is with the training regimen. We haven't had enough social time for me to know one way or another. I stare at my plate disapprovingly and hurry to finish it. I'm looking forward to getting out and clearing my head. Before being moonbound, I loved going out into the wilderness with my family. Before it being a gold rush year of agricultural growth and frontier exploration, there's always something to find or see. It wouldn't be the same without them, but that didn't stop me feeling pumped. After we finish our meagre meals, the three of us stand and ready to depart. I glance about, but see no sign of Eric's or Zaria. It's not too surprising given how busy they've both been. Zaria wants to get her arms fully approved for combat and squeeze in any extra training that she can. Jay's and Eric's have been assisting in fine-tuning her arms and getting her ready for the assessment. Funnily enough, Eric's is the one who always looks the most exhausted afterwards. Jay certainly keeps him running about with their seemingly endless energy and constant ideas for improvements. It isn't until we're heading towards the wooded area surrounding the grounds I spot them both. Zaria's laughter pierces through the crowd with ease. Oh, come on, Eric's. We're almost there. Now that it's scheduled for next week, we just need to build a few more sessions and have it cleared. She pulls him into a hug even as the bear huffs tidily at her. Even if he wanted to, he doesn't appear to have the energy to resist. Did I hear that right, dear Zaria? You have your test next week. You all are. Yeah, I'm stoked. Eric's and the captain really made these babies purr. I know it'll make a huge difference on our next deployment. She flexes her arms excitedly and Eric grins, quickly transforms into a yawn. I'm happy for you. But I really am looking forward to not getting up at the crack of dawn again. Not that I might help it out or anything. No, Eric, I can't thank you both enough for all the work you put into me. I promise after this is over, I'm more than happy to let you sleep in. I think we've both seen more cracks recently in the last shower visit. Zaria's fresh take on letting her mouth run on autopilot has its highs and lows. Seeing everyone's expressions mostly made up for it. Mostly. Heh. I snap my head round to the noise, but I'm not certain who laughed. Before I can ask, a new hearty laugh fills the air. Come on, everyone, gather round. Can't miss me even if you tried. Well, I think that's the last of the class, sir. Right, Alex? Yes, Tobbs, that is correct. Alex tries to keep a stoic demeanour, but I can see the corners of his mouth twitch as his tail dances. Alex walks over, stops next to him, and then stands at attention. Oh, stop that. We're in the wild, no need for formalities. Even though Cannon's posture is far more relaxed than Alex's, he still towers over him. I'd forgotten how big he is. Though not as tall as Cyrox, the Earthsign stands at least half a foot taller than Alex. His beaming smile and barrel chest get a very inviting figure. Damn, his arms must be thicker than my thigh, easily. He claps his paws and then gestures for us all to get closer, bringing us into a tighter formation near him. We're going to have a fun simulation of being stranded planet-side today. Well, sometimes it happens, especially to those of us at the forefront of battle. The thought of being stranded is terrifying. But Cannon's relaxed demeanour, his buoyant, almost sing-song tone makes it feel more like an adventure. Well, in future lessons, we'll travel to a variety of habitats, so you can learn how to stay safe in more extreme environments. For now, I'll make sure everyone has a baseline of knowledge. He beams at us. It's also a great time to learn each other's tips and tricks. Well, after all, you all come from so many different kinds of places. Learning what each other knows and absorbing that could help you survive when it truly counts. He fixes his stare at each of us in turn. It's hard to tell wholly what he means. His gaze has the look of someone who's seen a lot. Someone who's had to do anything to keep going. Cannon's focus is immediately shattered by a small buzz emanating from the foliage. A minute black and yellow drone emerges and flutters over to him.
Oh, Bumble, there you are, my cutie. Did you and your brothers find everything?
Bumble lights up and dances for Cannon, whose arm cuff lights up in response. He nods his diminutive bot as it shares its discoveries.
Okay then. Continue working hard. Right. Everything is ready. We're going to hike into the woods and set up camp. My friends have confirmed everything is prepared properly so we can head off.
Cannon motions to us to follow and then starts lumbering away from the grounds. The drone zips off ahead of him. We take after him, slowly separating back into our individual packs. Cannon is surprisingly adept at disappearing and reappearing at a moment's notice to find out facts about various plants or animals. Everyone has a range of reactions to the excursion. The rear appears fully overstimulated, swiveling her head at any and all noises and sights. She listens intently each time Cannon appears. He lectures about moss, protein-rich grubs, and how to detect poisonous or venomous things to stay clear of. Erox keeps a good pace. Much like the larger bear, he seems at ease with long endurance marches. He doesn't look as interested in the lessons as everyone else is. Alex, on the other hand, is entirely out of his element. He flicks grime and dirt off after each activity, even if he shows interest in what's being said. He answers observational questions clearly when prompted. It isn't long until we stop for a breather, and Cannon talks about the uses of a particularly wet patch of mud.
Mud should never be underestimated. You can hide with it, build with it, even cook with it if you know the means. You'll always have a good time with a bit of muck.
He makes a wide gesture, arms outstretched in a turn. He happens to bump Alex on the back, who promptly flails before falling face first in the aforementioned mud.
Oops, sorry Alex, didn't see you there.
He leans over to help the spluttering cat to his feet. As he does, I catch Cannon's eye and he winks. Did he mean to do that? Oh, of all the... sir, I implore you, please mind your dramatic posturing. I am drenched. Cannon helps Alex out by smearing off as much of the mud as he can. He seems to be more rubbing it into his fur than off. I catch Brut off the side with the biggest smirk I've seen on him. The smirk disappears when he sees me staring, and it wanders away to talk to some others. I am a mess. I turn back to and am greeted by a very unhappy and still muddy Alex. Yes, I can see that. Really, I think brown looks good on you. Alex shoots me a glare. As he opens his mouth to reply, Zaria appears and starts babbling excitedly. Hey, I just found some moss the type Cannon says is great for makeshift. Oh my gosh, what happened to Alex? She openly laughs and points at Alex, whose tail swishes and dances irritably. This must be some beauty regimen, right? Gotta make sure her fur stays lustrous, right? Always thought you were more graceful than this, Alex. How did you manage to... She's cut off as a clod of mud hits her right in the maw, making her splutter. Alex has a sinister grin on his face. Goodness, it appears I'm so clumsy that I accidentally kicked some mud your way. Do forgive my ill-coordinated feet, won't you, dear cousin? I feel a catastrophe is imminent, but Cannon appears on either side of them, then slings his meaty arms around their necks, drawing them both into a sidelong hug.
Now, kiddies, when we get to the stream we can wash you both off. Nothing better for bonding than communal bathing. But until then, let us press on. So much more to see.
And just like that, he releases them both and then saunters away, transitioning straight back into teaching modes. He points out a bird's nest his drones are signalling to. I really can't get a good read on this knight. Not entirely certain what his objectives are. One minute he seems to be riding his own squire up, next he's diffusing the building tension. We press on further. Alex, despite his initial filthy attitude following his impromptu mud bath, soon becomes an entirely different person. He no longer approaches things with an air of avoidance, finally seeming to relax. It looks like he's simply enjoying the survival lesson Cannon teaches us. He even makes a few jokes while arms deep in a hunt's innards. As promised, it isn't much further until we reach a charming brook cutting through the forest. Cannon brings us all to attention with a booming clap of his paws.
All right, sweets. We've come a fair way, braved the hostile terrain, and found a source of water. Now we can fortify our position and nourish ourselves. We'll filter the water and then purify it by boiling. Then we can cook the forest bounties we've claimed.
He licks his lips hungrily. I admit I'm famished. The light breakfast really has made food the main thing on my mind.
Well, of course, that means fire. Now, yes, you should be able to start a fire easily in most situations. However, we are learning the worst case scenarios, so let's show you how to kindle.
He goes on to have our packs gather material to build our fires. Alex surprises me by not insisting on washing at first while we head into the brush. Catches me giving him a coy look. Yes, Corn. What appears to be the trouble? Do I have something on my face? He gives me such an innocent expression as he speaks that I can't help but snort. A moment later his facade breaks and we're both laughing. I'm wheezing so much I reach out to grab onto a tree. It isn't until I manage to gasp enough air to straighten up that I realise my sturdy tree is, in fact, Brut. He's looking at us both with a mix of confusion and mirth.
Just some fucked up method of finding firewood if I ever saw it.
Oh, sorry, Brut, I'm sorry. We'll start looking, I swear. He pulls his arm free from my grasp, seemingly having waited for me to stand properly before doing so.
Yeah, well, you better. You've got to start a fire bigger and better than anyone else. Won't do that if you bent over like you.
He trails off before blushing, pivoting on the spot and then marching deeper into the forest. I feel my own cheeks flush as I guess what he's picturing. There isn't time for thinking more on that, especially as the rear slips past, arms and hair full of twigs and sticks. Gotta get sticks. The blur continues past the collection point and leaps into the tree line beyond, starting another pack so much that most fall on their asses. Alex gives me one look of bemused horror and then we're laughing again. After a while and some more wild leaps from the rear, Cannon gathers us around. He squats down and shows us how to build then coax a flame, using a few different methods.
You've seen how easy it is to get sparks when you have something metal to scrape off of. One of the many ways your suits can assist in survival.
Looks at us from over the flames of his last demonstration. Has this fatherly energy in his teaching approach. Well, maybe more of a mischievous uncle.
Why don't I think of what a worse situation could be? We must be prepared for it. Now, I'm going to show you the most fundamental and primitive means to get a flame going.
He tosses aside the metal and wires he'd been using, then starts grabbing a select few sticks and kindling from the pile we'd amassed in a scavenge.
Well, I can see some of you think this might be useless to learn. Believe it or not, it wasn't so long ago we suffered many incidents just like what I'm teaching you all about.
As he snuffs out the previous fire, his expression becomes solemn for the first time.
While we're doing well now in our efforts to fight them off, our history of the plague has been one of constant struggle and awful losses as we scrambled to offer defence. Even with the entire Union putting together the greatest minds and resources from across the galaxy, our early attempts at diplomacy and then resistance were riddled with failure after failure.
He starts shaving some of the sticks, each sentence only punctuated with the sound of his claws carving more off.
As you all know, in terms of attacking, it took us several attempts to even make a dent in one of their ships. Defence was equally poor. Our ships were designed to transport people in safety, not defend against such a hostile threat. Ships were shot down, emergency pod deployments, and very ungraceful landings were common. Strandings occurred too. Communications were often down and searches had to be delayed while we tried to stop harvests. Knights and squires, alone or entire packs, could spend days to weeks or longer awaiting rescue, often on very inhospitable worlds. Fear, paranoia, constant vigilance for attacks. All of that weighs on one's mind. You'd be surprised how fast that can erode someone's psyche. And yes, we have made it much harder to lose track of any one of you with each technological stride. However, it's still pertinent to still learn the art of primitive fire.
With a flourish, he spins the whittled stick rapidly in the shavings he mounted up. With only a few encouraging huffs into the pile, a glow starts to peek through.
And voila! Depressing story aside, you can coax the flames of resistance even in the most dire situations. I might make it look easy, but I'm used to working with wood in my pores and friction. Don't beat yourselves up if you don't get it right away.
He winks at all of us, and I can't be the only one thinking that was an innuendo, right? Am I that horny braid that I twist even an innocent sentence? It doesn't help this night as a smoulder on him hotter than the fires he just lit.
Okay, split into your packs and take turns getting a fire going. Even a few sparks are good. I'll be ready to jump in and douse anything getting out of hand, so please have fun.
He gestures some buckets placed next to the stream. With a massive grin, he gives us all one of his rumbling laughs as we separate out and then take up spots to practice. Alex takes his time to wash in the river, batting away Zaria's attempts at helping. While the cats groom themselves, Brut, Eric's and I start preparing our fires.
Come on, stop dozing off your lamp. We need proper kindling.
I turn my head from watching the others to look at Brut, who's hacking at some sticks with the grace of a serial killer. Eric's watches on, distracted by the horror. Oh, right, sorry, yeah, I'll get right on that. Still seemingly unnerved by Brut's thrashing, Eric's almost absent-mindedly picks up half a log and rakes his claws down in a practice motion. A flurry of wood chips and fibres fall from the log like snow as Brut and I watch in shock. Wow, Eric's. That sure is one way to do it.
Now we're talking. That's great, keep going. That's the biggest blaze around.
Brut's dismissed and sad twig falls forgotten as he shuffles closer to Eric's. He gathers the fallen debris into a pile with glee. Eric's looks confused and embarrassed at the odd encouragement. He makes eye contact with me before continuing. Sure thing. We'll want a fair bit for each of us to try. He continues to shred more of the wood, the cackling glee of Brut below. Are you okay, Eric's? Looks like you know the stuff Cannon is talking about, but you don't seem happy about it. Eric's winces, even as his paws continue to worry the log on autopilot. Yeah, this survival stuff has been taught to me a lot. And Tobbs is anything like my pal, my uncle's, in how he's teaching, of course, but still a little... He trails off, finishing up shredding his log and letting his paws hang loosely next to him. He jolts slightly as Alex's paw grabs his left shoulder. Well, I hope we can rely on your expertise in this then, my friend, and in the process forge new memories. What do you say? Zaria joins us on Eric's other side and gives him a gentle, for her, bump. Yeah, can you show me how to use friction to make embers? Cannon's paws are a bit too big for me to get a good look. I think my babies could really do some work on rubbing wood and... Oh, for the stars' mercy, I'll kill you, Alex! She lashes out half-heartedly at Alex, who grinned at the moment she spoke. That was enough to get a chortle out of Eric's. Even Brut sniggers while piling the wood snow into 5 mounds.
Yeah, Zaria, come on, show us how to rub it properly. Hey.
Zaria whips her head towards Brut. She looks like she's about to spit something back at him before pausing, mouth agape. You actually called me by my name for once, Brut. Brut stops his bundle building, more half open himself, or shutting it closed with a snap.
A slip of the tongue. Shut up, get to it then.
He turns it away. I swear I see him blushing. He really has some childish tendencies. Despite that, the mood remains active and good. We each take turns and manage to get sparks going. Eric's makes it look easy, but it takes me a few tries where I get the speed right. Initial panic and jubilation on seeing those hot embers starting to glow is almost overwhelming. I hurriedly give them just the right amount of breath to make them grow, while feeding it some kindling. The exercise takes me back to camping on Foro. Cannon comes around and checks our progress, getting hands-on with those that can't do it alone for a few tries. Seeing him get so close and guide the others makes me a tad envious we manage it without his direct help. Those feelings are quickly smothered when he produces fluffy sweet treats that melt over everyone's flames. Watching the white clouds char as we hold them aloft the fires on twigs does make for a nice reward for our efforts.
Alright, that seems good. You all did great. Don't tell anyone I gave you these sugary snacks. KU nutritionists will be horrified hearing their calories.
He winks at us and puts a finger to his lips. There's a murmur of laughter and giggles throughout the packs. Cannon really knows how to get people to relax.
Now, we will want to cook the foraging we did on the way. A bit of energy will keep you attentive while I show you all what to do.
Like an odd wild buffet, he displays a collection of fruits, fungi, meats and vegetables we gathered. One by one he gives us an overview of how best to cook them. He is meticulous in explaining the dangers of eating something either poisonous or improperly cooked, citing how that can be more deadly than the few days of holding out for rescue.
There are some universal rules for what is and is not edible on any planet. The best thing you can do is observe the wildlife and see what they are eating. The larger the creature, the less likely their diets contain foods that have large quantities of toxins. That isn't foolproof, though. That's why we've already looked to clean and prepare any animal we hunt, reduce the chance of unsafe meat as much as we can, with no means to check. You can hold out, great. But you should gather while you have the energy to, and try a small amount first. A stick can detect a lot within this catalogue, but if you lose it, you'll have to make a wise choice.
He multitasks admirably, never stopping his pause while cooking during his explanations. Before long we have a feast before us of what the forest provided. The smell alone is tantalising. The treat did not fill the hole left from the trek and the small breakfast.
Oh, dig in. Some of these items will not be the most palatable. They will help you sustain yourself when needs must.
He grins, then pops a charred fish into his maw. We try some. He isn't wrong. Some are bitter, though cooking's removed a little of that. There's no seasoning either. I'm used to that luxury missing. Overall, if I had to survive a waiting rescue, this isn't bad. Not bad at all. After polishing it all off, we then carefully put out the fires, bury the remains, make sure any traces that native predators on an unfamiliar world would be attracted to are all removed.
Fantastic, right. You're fed, so let's start the trek back to civilization, shall we?
Beaving his shit-eating grin and clapping his paws as we groan, Cannon starts herding us back the way we came. As we make our way back through the woods, I take some time to digest what we've been shown. I feel fairly confident that I wouldn't immediately perish if I had to deal with foraging and surviving on a wild planet. It might be harder, but it certainly wouldn't be as hard as it was. Hey, Corwin, I found something. Oh, nice. Let me see. Oh, still wrapped. Should be edible. Great find, Maros. Oh, I'm thirsty, Corwin. Hold on, Ma. I'm burning up. I need to find you some medicine, too. We haven't found anything near. And further out could be... I'll find you something. Try to keep quiet till I'm back, okay? Corwin? Yeah? I don't think anyone is going to find us. Don't give up yet. The cavalry will come get us. You'll see. Oh, I'm so hungry. Okay, I'll go search soon. Just need to rest my eyes. Corwin? Corwin?
Scan show there's something here, close.
Sir, you need to rest. You're in no condition to...
I can't just stop now. Or what was it all for?
But sir, it's been... There can't be any.
Here. There's someone here. Help me lift this. Please, help me lift.
Squire Stringer? I leave as someone whispers directly into my right ear, almost falling over in the process. A pair of massive arms wrap around me and rest my slip.
Whoa there, little cricket. Didn't mean to spook you.
I look up at his smirking face, somewhat doubting his claim. He gently lets me go once he's certain I'm steady.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself. You're staring off so hard I thought I needed to coax you back to land.
I rub my neck, a bit uncomfortable. The sudden jolt from the bed suddenly distracted me from my memories. I still feel a bit clammy. Yes. Sorry, sir. I was just thinking of survival methods. His eye looks over me from under the long hair obscuring his face. Without the shade, I can't fully read his expression.
Well, I have no doubt. Well, what I was really coming over to you about was to say you have quite a sweet scent about you.
I'm sorry? He chuckles as he pats my shoulder. His firm hold directs me to keep walking so as not to fall too far behind the group.
I mean it. I can tell my own special brand quite well, I'll have you know. I've smelled it on you the entire lesson.
I turn my head to the right to look at him as his paw still graces my left shoulder. I've had every urge in my body to blush. The closeness doesn't help. His cheeky grin, the way he spoke, had this underlying current to it that made it hard to figure out what he meant.
So, I imagine Calbex must be wanting a top-up, eh?
Oh! I finally get what he's alluding to and fumbled my pack. I present a nearly empty jar they'd taken from Calbex this morning. Of course this is what he meant. Cannon's eye shines with mirth as he takes the jar from me. He licks a sticky spot from a digit, with what I can only consider to be insidious intent. A moment later, though, his expression falls. He stares at the jar's label, and he suddenly looks tired and sad.
Oh, I wish I could do more for my friend than just keeping him rich in honey. There you are, Esmeralda. Thank you.
He addresses one of his drones that buzzes over, carrying an amber-filled jar with slight difficulty.
Good, I see. Well, tell the others then, and see about deploying the hive. Good job.
He lets the drone nuzzle his paw for a moment before it bumbles off, disappearing out of sight once more. His gaze lingers on the spot before he turns and places the jar in my hands. He wraps his paws around mine, holding them while fixing me with a stare.
Calbex is a good man, Corwin. But he's also become a stick in the mud since he's been back. Doesn't socialise or do the things he likes anymore.
His expression softens as he gives my hand a squeeze.
Well, we might not be as close as we were, but I can tell he's starting to wag that tail again. Open up. So I'm asking you, as a favour, to keep on doing whatever you are doing. Coax him back to us. Not as an order, just as a friend who very much wants his buddy happy, and to go back to spending good evenings and wild nights like they used to.
He tilts his head to the left, considering me, and then gives me an apologetic grin.
I hope you don't think I'm putting too much on you. What I've seen and heard, you have just the right stubborn streak in you, as he does, for getting things done.
He releases me and then puts his paws on his hips, observing me as I digest what he's asked and said. I still don't think I have a good read on the knight. He's kind but mischievous, and seems to have agendas I'm not able to figure out. But I do believe him when he says he cares about Calbex. Sir, you can trust me. I want to help Calbex in all the ways I can. I'll do whatever it takes. He beams at me. Before I can resist, I'm pulled into the large Ursine's arms, given the most enveloping bear hug I've ever had. Even through his uniform, I can smell hints of sweetness and musk from his fur. Coupling that with how he's happily rocking me certainly brings a blush to my cheeks when he releases me.
Good lad. Alright, let's catch up with the others. I have a nice treat for you all.
He gives me another wink and arm pat, while turning and lumbering off, yelling ahead of the squire they're just leaving the forest, entering back into the KAU compound. I swear, more than any of the night I've met, this bear wants me to keel over. I take a moment to gather myself before following after.
Okay, everyone, you did great. We'll be doing more intense survival training in other climates across OSIT as well. Mixing up with combat practices and other simulations will give you all as much experience as possible in the event that you are stranded. However, for the rest of today...
He pauses until every eye is watching him nervously.
You're all excused from duty. Go have some fun, as long as your knights don't have anything for you.
There's a collective sigh of relief, quickly replaced by murmurings of excitement as squires start discussing what to do with their unexpectedly free afternoon. So, what's the plan? You want to do something? Zaria bounds up excitedly, followed by the three others. Even Brut looks a tad happy. It'd be nice to get out and relax. Maybe we can get into Densis. I hear there are bars that give squires discounts. Eric's looks sheepishly excited. His ears wag in a hopeful, playful manner that is so endearing. I shake my head. I've got bears on the brain now. Yeah, that could be fun. We don't have any scheduled sessions tomorrow, so I don't think Jace would mind. Oh, I am certain. Cannon's already signed off on not giving me anything until tomorrow evening. A trip into the city would be most welcome, shall we? Alex is back to his usual decorum, though his tail swishing tells of his excitement. The group looks at Brut. Though he's standing with his arms crossed and a scowl on his face as usual, his tail wags just enough to suggest interest.
I have to watch out you don't make fools of yourselves, don't I? So I'll have to come along.
He growls impotently as his tail gives him away. I'm not sure if he thinks he's even getting away with it. Well then, that sounds splendid. Shall we reconvene in an hour? That works. I need to deliver something to my knight anyway, and I can ask if I'm clear to go. With a nod, Alex sighs happily. Ah yes, I need to have a proper shower to feel fully clean and presentable. After a faux glare towards his knight, who only bats his eyelid innocently, Alex starts to head off his way. The rest of us take off, hurrying to our respective homes. As I near the house, I can hear impact against wood echoing from the back. Head around back, I'm presented with quite the sight. Calvex is in front of the training dummy, his stance set wide, chest exposed. He lays siege to the wooden enemy with 2 practice axes, perfectly moving back into position after each swing. It's mesmerising to watch. It's the first time I've seen him in action. It's easy to see that he earned his titles. Every strike is swift, deadly, and with an unnerving grace. You can only tell he favours his right side because he mentioned it. The differences in strikes are small. If I wasn't aware, I doubt I'd been able to tell. The axes aren't the only weapons around. The rack is full of a whole assortment of arms, all new practice versions. What I can see, it looks like they've all been used this session. I stare for a couple of minutes. After all, how could I not admire my knight in action? He stops after a few more swings. He pants, arms hanging loose by his sides.
Towel, please, Corwin.
Some towels are draped over the edge of the deck railing. I hurry to grab a few and then bring them to Calvex. I pause. May I? I wait as he considers. After he gives me a small nod, I step forward. I pass him the small of the 2 towels where I move to wipe down his back, take a note to use a lighter rub on his left. That was amazing, Calvex. How long have you been going at it?
Just a moment, I need to record this.
I notice his stick sitting on a nearby table. A few hollow screens float above it. I can only assume he was transmitting to them. He must have set something up to record his movements. I nod silently and let him finish, concentrating on mopping him down as best I can. Eventually he stops me so he can return the axes to the rack before regarding me properly.
Sorry, Corwin. Want to make sure I got everything organised. How went the training?
Well, Knight Tobbs went easy on us, I think. He's really odd. He's not bad, in fact he's really kind. But I can understand some of the things he did. Calvex chuckles as he dries his head. Emerging from under the towel, his ears spring back up. He drapes a towel around his shoulders and looks up into the sky as he considers his reply.
Canon Tobbs is an unorthodox knight. You're not the first nor the last that he's confused. He delights on keeping folks on their toes. He always has a reason. When I met him, I didn't get him either. He'll play pranks or cause friction between other squires, seemingly at random.
He walks over the table and picks up his stick, cycling through some of the windows as he continues.
I didn't see it at first, but Canon has incredible insight and judgment. He can tell when someone needs a push or where friction actually helps air things out.
He smiles wistfully, followed by a sadder frown.
He always knows what you need far sooner than you will. He always had my back, even when I stubbornly thought he was being a chaotic influence.
He drifts off, and I'm reminded of what Callan said earlier. I take out the jar and then move to place it on the table in front of Calvex. The smiling bear label beams up at him. I don't think that's changed. He still cares. You could always... His ears flick as he reaches for the jar. He holds it in his right paw, almost reverently, like he's afraid it'll break.
I know. It's just hard when there's been so much space and time, and I'm not the same wolf I was. He's just dead.
I'm not exactly sure what to say. I reach out instinctively to console him, but hesitate before placing my hand very slowly on his left midsection, right over some of the coarse fur. He flinches a little, even though he's seen my hand. He doesn't pull away. I think he's still there, still recovering. Knight Tobbs won't mind either. If he's as insightful as you say, he knows he'll do it when you're ready. He nods. We stand silently for a moment. I don't have any idea how to help more, so we just linger, each of us in quiet contemplation. So what brought on the practice? Would you like me to put the weapons away, or... I'd almost forgotten the pack's plan. If Calvex needs me, I'll have to tell him I'm busy.
More preparation for the next session. I've gone through the data from all you squires, checked against prior experience, preferences, and my own judgment to come up with a training plan for each of you. I need to reacquaint myself with each weapon and the attack patterns I plan to teach first. He lifts up his stick and shakes it slightly. I've recorded it all. I'll be going through the data to finalise it. Plus, it's good to get the practice in. My eyes widen. Sounds like he's really done a lot of work. I wonder if he had planned to have this done before the first session, but the change to his schedule off. Perhaps he planned this because he wanted to make a better impression next time. Either way, it was impressive. Wow, that's amazing. So, what can I do to help? If you need it, that is. Calvex looks at me as he considers. I try not to twitch as I wait. Well, I do suppose that you could put all of these away. I also need my evening meal cooking as I take a bath, so there is that. My heart sinks somewhat. I resolve to spend the evening at home with Calvex before I catch him staring at me. Why the long face? Sure you don't have anything else planned? Well, I'm happy to help, Calvex. What would you like me to start on first? He ponders again before covering his muzzle with a paw and chuckling. I can't give this up. Knight Tobbs has already messaged me about giving you the evening off and expects all of you to go out and have fun. Go on, get ready. I'm more than capable of handling myself for an evening. He gives me a softer look before glancing towards the practice weapons. Really, have a good fun night. It's important to have time to de-stress from it all. It takes a second before what Calvex said sinks in. Cracking into a grin, I hold off on whooping and instead make my way to the glass door that heads into the kitchen. I open it and then pause. I turn my head to call back to Calvex. You should heed your own advice sometime, my knight. You deserve it just as much. I enter and practically bounce through the kitchen and up the stairs, not looking back to see how he reacted. It needed saying, but I'll have to process that one himself. Thence is a short journey on the mag rail from the KAU complex. The sleek tube drifts over the grassy path like a lazy dragonfly. There are a fair few packs on board, also heading to the city. Seems like everyone had the same idea to travel in and explore. Zuria bounces from one side of the rail to the other, trying to look at every new sight as we pass by. She occasionally drags one of us with her to stare. She thinks we'd been interested. The spirit is infectious. It isn't long for I abandon trying to sit down and instead stand, looking out eagerly myself. In the heart of the city, it is calming to see everyday life thriving. People walk the grassy streets, dine at cafes, and shop casually with an air of serenity they're all but forgotten. On every corner and crosswalk, fruits hang ripe on the trees and vines grow in there. Canopies from interlocking trees form dappled areas that make some districts appear cool and mysterious. Glancing over the taller high-rise buildings, colourful bursts of candle-like flowers emerge from the climbing plants. It makes each building look like its own individual ecosystem. I wonder how it's all done. That's what orchestrate construction and integration with plants so intricately. I bet Cannon would know. Where's Maros? I should message him later and ask. Here we go. Oh, we should disembark here. Alex draws our attention as we come to a gentle stop and the doors hum open. We hurry to depart to allow fresh passengers aboard. I take in the air that we've stopped in. My brain tries to reconcile the feeling of being in the wilderness and the metropolis at the same time. Streams cut paths through the vegetated streets, and everywhere I look, I can see so many varieties of colourful plants and birds. Billboards and bright lights cut through the forested vibe, advertise everything from the latest cologne to upcoming events. The juxtaposition is bizarre, but wonderful in its own way. Come on! Brut gives my shoulder a bump as he walks past, just enough to jostle me from my staring. I jog to catch up. Alex takes us down a few streets while pivoting down a smaller archway. It opens into a square with scintillating smells emanating from a stall set up on one corner. Alex confidently strides up to the vendor and, after a brief exchange, returns to us with a variety of foods on skewers. Here we go, my intrepid packmates. A secret taste out of the ordinary, courtesy of my knight's recommendation. Knight Tobbs says they use a very flavourful glaze. He hands each of us one in turn. I'm hit with a savoury aroma now it's up close. The stick holds cubes of alternating foods. The whole thing is covered in a syrupy sauce that has an iridescent sheen to it. Zaria is examining hers intensely, no doubt trying to figure out the individual components of a meal. Eric's and Brut are already a third of the way done with theirs. I catch Alex's eyes. We toast with our skewers for indulging. I'm surprised by initial sourness to the bite. From his expression, Alex wasn't expecting it either.
As I chew more, the sourness gives way to a rich, sweet and savoury flavour that goes oddly well with the first meat chunk. The next bite gives a totally different experience, as the glaze works with the toasted vegetable cube to highlight the sweet notes. It's an addictive experience. Each piece pairs perfectly with the sauce, but in totally unique ways that makes it very refreshing. When I'm done, I'm half tempted to go get another. And that Tobbs was spot on. That was amazing. Eric licks his lips with a look of pure bliss, offering me agreement too. Yeah, it's the best thing I've ever had. I could never get tired of it, the way it kept changing. Brut nods his head too, still chewing and sucking on the skewer to get the last bit of taste out. The rest of us have disposed of ours. Ugh, that's good shit. You can eat it over and over and we'll get sick of it. Good call, Alex. Alex's eyebrows raised so high I think they'll take off and fly away, but remains silent. He then checks his stick and lightly coughs to clear his throat. Indeed, I'm glad that sated our bellies. If I have this right, it's a short walk to our destination. Yes, this way. Pointing across the square, he leads us forth with confidence. So we follow our tour guide, we take in the sights as we go. The streets are tighter here. Each building is stacked close, creating narrow passages and hidden spots throughout. Throughout the alleys we pass have trellises stretching between buildings, connecting them like webs. Creeping plants grow and dangle from them, creating areas of shadow that feel secretive and alluring in the setting sun's light. I can't help the anticipation and excitement bubbling up as we delve deeper. So we're passing another alley entrance in our labyrinthine progression. My eyes catch the lights of a place that must have just opened. Already a few people are filtering in or hanging outside. My gaze is about to pass over them as the pack presses on, but something in my mind makes me take a second look. Actual inspection, see that most of the patrons are scantily dressed. Some wear harnesses, others instead have on tight or leather-clad clothing. I squint to read the sign above the door. Tanned leather. My brows shoot up as I realise it must be a place to revel in some more robust activities, given the clientele. Call it and keep up, it's just down this way. I've stopped long enough for the sight that I'm about to lose them, so I progress further and down another turn. I tear my gaze away from the enticing place to respond. Sorry, My reply is cut short as, out of the corner of my eye, I see someone entering the hidden place that I feel I recognise. I snap my head back to look. Surely it wasn't? Come on, Corwin, I can see it! I have to turn and jog to catch back up. So in the briefest of glimpses, I just sworn I saw Alex's night going into the leather place. I was only curious before, but very interested now. My mind starts to imagine what kind of things happen within those walls. My stupor is shaken as the rear grabs me by the right shoulder, points to our destination with another paw. Look, isn't it amazing? I follow a gesture and look at where Alex has led us. First I think he's brought us to a tree. A large, thick tree that stretches upwards to rival the surrounding buildings. However, as my gaze rises to look at the boughs and leaves, notice it isn't a tree at all. Rather, not completely. The leaves pulse and throb with light patterns emanating from them to some beat I can't hear. The trunk, I realise, has a large door carved, or maybe grown, into it. There's already a queue starting to form along the side of the club. With Zaria dragging me eagerly forward, we all make our way to join. Music is pumping out, though it's muffled by the foliage so much it can barely be heard. Alex proudly puffs out his chest upon completion of his successful Wayfinder mission. A Nectar is a long-established club and bar. It's been a frequent watering hole for KU squires for years. The decor is supposed to be awe-inspiring as well. I think you, Alex, will appreciate the engineering that's gone into making this place. He smiles very self-congratulatory at us and pats Eric's on the back, whose ears are wiggling as he looks ahead to the entrance. I can tell he isn't the most used to this kind of thing. Now he looks at least interested in the place. Zaria is in the same situation. Her excitement for this new experience is much more visible as she vibrates. Unable to contain her energy, she chats up the folks in front of us as the queue moves forward. I smile, seeing them all eager to relax. Brut, however, is back to a guarded mode. His arms across, he examines those in front and behind like they're possible adversaries, rather than fellow clubgoers. Come on, Brut. This doesn't strike me as your first rodeo. I whisper to him as we wait. Gives me a look of total derision before shaking his head and sighing.
No, but I've been up plenty. It's usually a waste of time and credits. If you let your guard down the wrong place, you end up getting fucked over.
Before I can respond, he raises a paw.
Look, I know this is different. At least they're playing decent music. Don't expect me to get all chummy and start acting like a fool. You can't be too careful.
I shut my mouth and let him return to his vigil. I was about to say the nectar will of course be safe. I've seen enough bars and folks on my moon getting blind drunk. I know you can go too hard and end up regretting it. Maybe a few drinks will unclench him a little, but if he wants to watch our backs, then I feel like I can trust him. Ah, here we go. They can verify his status through a stick scan. Present him the doorman for entry. I turn back to the front and see Alex already taken his out. He holds it towards the bouncer as a formidable bovine man. Even the tight suit and impressive horns, his demeanour is relaxed and welcoming as he scans the presented stick. He confirms KAU membership, then ushers Alex to enter, for he does the same for Ericsson's rear.
There you go, bud. Yep, all scanned. Welcome, Squire. Enjoy yourself. Nectar prides itself on providing the utmost care for everyone. So if we cut you off, accept it and enjoy the vibe.
He winks at me as he lets me pass, and I feel myself flush. Damn, I really need to blow off some steam soon if a wink makes me flustered now. The hallway towards the club proper is pulsing with soft lights. It makes the corridor inviting, but also slightly intimidating. Brut is the last to be let through. All together we make our way to the doors ahead. The room feels like a secret hive. A lattice of support beams spiders its way upwards into a dome far above. Right in front of us is the dance floor, which is already filled with people. They're laughing, drinking and dancing to the music from above. The focal point of the room, the entire tree, has been built or grown to fill the room. Much like the exterior, this tree's also had some engineering done to it. The shine and glow from the leaves thrum in time with the music, which is emanating from a platform in the upper regions. A wolf bounces and bops between the various machines, weaving and alternating the track to elicit excitement from the crowd. Streams of vibrant liquids pour from the ceiling to the pool below. Just from the smell, it must be alcoholic. Indeed, I spy plenty of revellers filling their glasses, and I'm curious to how it tastes. Seeing so many people having uninhibited fun makes me grin. I'm determined to have at least some time on the floor myself. Alex leads up the staircase to the upper balcony, choosing a seating section with comfortable plush sofas. More glowing plants dot the area. It's hard not to be mesmerised by the neon pulsing. Several also gushing fluids in cascades. We're about level with the DJ's booth, also have a great view of the dance floor below. As we settle in, Alex thumbs his earring. Within a few moments, the table in the centre of our seating area opens up. A tray of drinks rises from the depths with some list added to the presentation. Zaria and Eric's cool at the spectacle, but I see Brut rolling his eyes. Doesn't hesitate to take a glass when offered. Alex stands in front of us and raises his glass. I propose a toast to Morpack, to each of you for making it a pleasure to be in, for making me proud to stand next to you in combat. We raise our glasses and then take a drink. It's carbonated and fruity. Wow, it packs a punch. Oh, that is good. A drink's from me this evening, so please feel free to enjoy all the taste nectar has to offer. The streams are supposedly colour-coded for strength. Red is stronger and blue is weaker. He gestures behind us where an aqueduct weaves its way around the back of the seating area. The liquid flowing past us is currently glowing a vibrant green. I'd assumed it was merely for show. I lean over to get a closer look and see Zaria excitedly picking up a glass from the bank and dipping it in. I do the same, then bring the sweet-smelling liquid to my lips and drink. It's mild and crisp, not as strong as the first glass we had. Oh my gosh, it's true! I thought you pulled my leg, Alex. This is incredible. She giggles with such childlike wonder I can't help but laugh as well. The whole club suddenly has a whimsy to it I've never seen before. Oh, so spent blocking about engineering. The lighting system alone would have cost the year to get right. Eric mumbles he also looks deeply into the walls. And she's more excited with the architecture than the drinks. It's very kind of you, Alex. You don't have to pay for us. I'm happy to cover myself. Alex gives my left knee as a pass. He sits down next to me. Crossing his right leg over the other, he then leans back against the cushions. It's perfectly alright. I suggested the place, so it's only right to.
Yeah, the prince wants to pay for us. Let him.
Brut smacks his lips, which are now glowing green. I look at the stream and imagine he chugged a few gulps the instant Alex agreed to pay. He seems more than happy with the arrangement. I just shrugged and decided to toast another drink with Alex. Let Brut be Brut then. I'm not a Prince Brut, but it is true my system is affluent, and my family certainly is higher on the social ladder, as it is to say. He swirls his drink a little as he continues to mull. All that comes with is more pressure to achieve a good name, and make sure the jewellery box that is our family remains in good standing. Splurging on occasion is a fair enough deal, I should think. He smiles and finishes his drink. Brut snorts, ready using his stick to order in the round. Oh, my lordship, try me a golden river. Brut! He gives her a scathing look. What? The far worse thing's having too much money and some expectations. Think he should feel bad 'cause he has a hard life? Well, he fucking doesn't. The wolf swipes a new drink as soon as it descends and then downs in a single gulp. So much for not acting foolish. I agree, Brut. I have nothing to complain about, especially when so many more are in dire straits. It's one of the main reasons I signed up. I wanted to clear the scourge of the plague away so we can go back to improving everyone's well-being and not just my own. Yeah. I agree, Ags. Obviously the fight takes precedence, but we should be looking to a time when the fighting is over and we can do other things. Eric looks uncomfortably at Alex and Brut. He's trying to smooth things over while also getting his point across. I never thought about afterwards. What would I do if the plague was defeated? What even was there? The looming enemy is always so present in my mind there is no room for beyond. What fucking comes after? I jolt as Brut echoes my own inner monologue. He drains under the glass from the stream, which I note is now an orange hue. It's only the fight. It's all we should be focused on, not some fancy we'll all get to go home and live happily ever after. The one we do win is still going to be those that we lost, those still in need. The fight won't be done. Brut, you're not wrong. If that's what we can do after that, help rebuild, put things back together. Can't reclaim everything that is gone, but we can still help. She looks down at her paws, clenching and unclenching them in her lap. She certainly has something she can't get back, but she's still pressing forward. That's a commendable goal. I wasn't trying to downplay any other person's circumstances and what they've lost. But after the plague is done, after we defeat them, we can continue to make this galaxy a better place by helping everyone affected. Does that sound good? I'll cheer that. They're helping others so the next generation grow up without all the shitty fallout of the plague. Here. And fuck the plague. Here. We chuckle, toast our glasses, and the tension falls away. We have more drinks. Many more go down Brut's gullet. The system eventually cuts him off. He swipes a few more from me from time to time. It's fun. It's actually fun and nice to just chill out. The rear stops drinking after a particularly vulgar joke makes her cackle so loud, the next table all turn around. She blushes so hard she makes the glowing plants seem dull. Eric's can handle his booze. Even towards the end of the evening, he is still his cute and awkward self, though maybe a little more relaxed. Alex remains refined throughout. When I try to coax him to the dance floor, he takes one look at the chaotic mass of gyrating bodies and politely declines, citing the degree in a more formal setting. Which prompts Brut to, in his own way, have encouraged Alex by literally dragging him into the crowd. After pushing through and finding them, I see Brut letting loose and whipping his head back and forth to an almost violent degree. Alex gives me a look of utter pain and then sighs. He starts a few simple moves back and forth, still stiff. After Three and Eric's find us, we two start to dance and laugh and just give in to whatever movements we want to. Tonight is a good night. When we leave, Brut is very much over his limit. It appears I wasn't the only one he'd been swiping drinks from. On the mag rail back, he leans against us all in turn, giggling at his own jokes. I'm glad the carriage is empty as they range from childish to vulgar. When we get back to the KAU compound, I often make sure Brut makes it back to the commander's home. The others depart with a wave. Come on, Matt, let's get back to your night, eh? I sling the droopy wolf's right arm over my shoulder to support him. As I half carry him, half wobble with him on our way, we only teeter a little. Ah, yes, that is so good. He takes me seriously. Oh, I bet he does. You both seem very intense. No, really. He likes it when I say how much I fucking hate the plague. Or worsens my ideas for aggressive engagement. Boom! We veer as he waves his free paw wildly, looking at the skies if he gets explosions lighting it up. That's so, eh? Well, I'm glad that's true. They deserve all the pain they've caused back, and then some. Brut stops so suddenly I almost fall over. I manage to hold on, then look at his face, which is now locked on mine and steely.
Yeah, fucker. You know what I mean. You lost it all. Oh, God. It sucks.
Yeah, I know. It really does.
I lost it too.
He whispers into his chest. He leans back on me. And I slowly start moving us again. You lost someone as well?
Sophia. She's my sister. Was my sister. I loved her so much.
I pat him with the arm holding his waist. I struggle to keep us going. I can feel wetness falling on my cheeks. I give Brut the grace to not look at him while he continues.
Funny thing is, our planet wasn't even valuable. They didn't want us. They wanted our star.
A star siege? That must be what he's going on about. When the plague go after a star, they don't back down and will obliterate anything that comes near. They usually strike other systems as well. The aim is to split our attention and forces, stalling any attempt to mount a coordinated resistance. Meanwhile, the plague swarm their target system, digging in, taking over planets or moons, using them to mount devastating blows against any aid. The largest concentrations surround the star and start siphoning everything from it. It is brutal and frantic, and the worst show of the plague's insidiousness. In the process, the system that belongs to it dies. Even if the plague are driven away, the changes to a star's mass can ruin every planet orbiting it.
You'd have fought them, yeah. Hard. They were in the end. That plan been cut off for some supplies for so long. She got sick. Medicine never came, and she just...
He trails off. I feel more wetness splashing down on me. I move us forward. I know from experience sometimes you don't want words in return. You just want to get it out.
Thanks, Cord. What you did, everything. You saved me. You did everything it took, so... Yeah, thanks and shit.
Yeah, you're welcome, Brut. But never expect that again. You gotta do better next time. We can't rely on that method ever again. It's far too risky. We're lucky we didn't get caught.
Oh, yes, I know. I have to say the
door approaching opens at that moment. The commander looms in the doorway.
Well, look what got dragged home.
Oh, fuck, he's totally nude. Am I having a fever dream? Fenn's eyes dart across me. Brut. Then me again. And back to Brut. He crosses his arms and tilts his head to the left.
So you two are out gallivanting, eh? Think getting drunk off your tits is the proper use of your time?
I can see past him into the house. The corridor is very similar to Calvex's. There seems to have more picture frames on the wall.
And why is he naked?
I keep trying to find something to concentrate on rather than letting my eyes wander. Yes, sir. No, sir. We given leave by night Tobbs and decided to spend some time in the city.
Yeah, sir. That's right. We went for some drinks and danced it out with synergy and motivation. That's all.
Fenn's eyes bore into me as I keep my gaze on his, hoping I can maintain it. Just keep looking at his face, Corwin.
Drinks and dancing only, eh?
His right eyebrow raises slowly like a blade ready to snap down on my neck before it finally cracks a grin.
Here, relax. I am aware. You're off duty and you're entitled to some R&R. I'll take it from here, Squire Stringer.
His gaze leaves me and I feel like I can breathe again. Without a single sign of effort, he takes Brut and slings him over his shoulder.
No, I can walk, sir. I'm sorry.
Enough! Fenn barks at Brut, who goes limp on him. He turns into the doorway, stopping before pivoting his head to the left, hopefully not catching me checking his other assets out.
You go back to your own place now, Squire. I expect maximum effort next training session that you'll have relaxed. Understood?
Yes, sir. I salute, spin on the spot, and then practically run for it. My cheeks are so hot. Does he just walk around in his home naked all the time? Wouldn't get anything done if Calvex did that. Holy fuck. By the time I get home, my cheeks have stopped flushing. I feel a damn sight more sober. It's not that late, but I don't want to disturb Calbex if he's ready resting. I wince a little as the door slides open with a creak and I then sneak in. I take off my shoes, slowly and deliberately, then place them quietly next to the others. I start creeping towards the stairs as softly as I feel I can. However, there's light coming from the kitchen. How did I not see that? Corwin, you're back. Yeah, Calvex, I'm home. Thought you might be asleep already, so I was trying to be quiet. That's alright. Can you come in here before you head up? His tone is slightly stiff. It could be from Corwin from another room. I walk through and see that he's sat by the window with his final tonic for the day, nursing it. Please sit down. I move over to sit in the chair opposite him, the buzz from the night starting to burn away. He looks anxious or embarrassed. I take my place and look at him quizzically. So, I need to have a talk with you. Commander Fenn came over earlier. Oh, fuck. What? He didn't seem pissed off when I saw him. It's more pleasant than normal, even. What could he... I know what happened during the battle, and, we need to talk. There we go, we've finally met Canon Tobbs. And I hope you like him. It's definitely a fun one to voice. And that sort of flashback was interesting. I was trying to figure out what to do with the voices there. So there is something going on which might not be obvious, but it's a personal theory. But I'm not going to explain that now. We'll find out maybe at some point if I was correct with what I was doing. Who knows? I certainly don't. But yeah, that was the current build of Infinite Space. Like I say, it just came out, and next build will be sometime. I'm not going to rush Bastion and the rest of them. It takes a long time to get these things done properly. But rest assured, I am following everything, and I'll be bringing you the next chapter as soon as I can. Speaking of next chapters, next week is a video. Yeah, I really don't know. I know Kemia might be getting the public build soon, maybe. So that's a thing of. We have new burrows on Ken's route to do sometime. Still have to go back and cover those recommendations. There's the November 1 PM recommended. I need to do that sometime. So, yeah, a video, let's leave it at that, and I'll let my patrons on my Discord know when I know what's going on. So that might be Friday, the way things are going here. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. And if you want to go and support the VN, get your name on the end credits as well. Yeah, the link is in the description. And as always, I want to say thank you to all my donors on Ko-fi and Patreon. You are very, very much appreciated. I did my taxes the other week, and I know exactly how much you're giving me each year. You're all way too generous. But always I want to say a special thank you to my top patrons: Andy Peng, Aaron Fox, Bastian, Bieko, Brian Hall, Cobus Visser, Dissonance, Exact, Grizz, Harvest Mouse Productions, Evan King, Kartek, Matt Kenya, Mary Cervantes, Lark Huskerton, Greylock, Addy Bear, Vulpers Need Coffee, Araman Amaterasu, Tiger Cups, Muto, Spiderling, Rafu, and Omar. Also thanks to all those people whose names you see at the front of these videos. That's why I like to put them on the front, so you're very obvious there. Unless people skip over, but you can't have everything. So yeah, until next weekend, when we have the video. Thanks for watching. And if you do, thanks for supporting Infinite Space. I'm having a lot of fun doing this one. Bye for now.